but there's other things you need to watch out for. You ready, guys? I was born ready. Mr. Dirksen, bring it. Okay, fine. 49. Okay, so have a highlighter ready. Homeowners insurance. Which one would be more expensive, do you think? Homeowners or tenant insurance? Homeowner. Why? Has more, sorry?
Yeah, like more to cover.
More to cover. So it's contents and the building, right? You have your stuff and the building to worry about. I gotta pause here. I can't, there's, so it's code. It's code. They have to build houses with it these days. Okay, homeowners insurance protects homeowners, condominium owners, so, right, not just homeowners. If you own something from fire, burglary, flood, and storm damage. So if somebody breaks into your house, unfortunately, that is more and more common, right? Kick in the front door. It could be middle of the day, right? It happens all over the city. We're going to talk more about that. Covers contents, the building, and liability. So liability is if you perhaps cause damage to someone else. Like let's say your fence falls over and it breaks your neighbor's AC. Like it falls on the air conditioning unit. It would probably be your fault. So they would cover that. Okay. Covers the contents of your home and building itself. So house insurance is insurance for people owning, obviously owning a house or condominium. Watch this here. This is very important. Lending institutions, meaning banks, will not release a mortgage until proof of property insurance is given. Okay. I could not take possession of my house. They would not give me the mortgage until I could show them that I had insurance for my house. Because if it burns down, who really owns the house at the beginning? Not you, the bank, right? They gave you the money for the house, so they want to make sure you're not, standing there without anything in your hands, right? Factors that affect insurance. You need to have some of these, either memorize them or just highlight a few, but these are everything in bold here affects you. So location, right? It basically, the insurance companies, they have systems, right? But it's basically how far are you from a fire hydrant or a fire hall? How long would it get the fire department to get to your house? If you live outside the city, they have volunteer firefighters. What does that mean? It means that they're not in the fire hall. These are people doing regular work. They might work, in construction. They get a phone call. They have to leave work, go to the fire hall, change, then go to the fire. So basically, by the time they get to your house is probably already a write-off. It's just to control it. It's just to make sure the fire doesn't spread to the neighbors, right? Our city, we have full-time fire departments, so they're there within minutes, right? But it does matter. They know that. They know, based on where you live, what the response time is, okay? So that's why where you live matters. It also is like, is your area a high crime area? They know that. They keep track of statistics. Is your area prone to storms? Are you close to the river? Are you going to be having issues with flooding, right? They know that. It will drive up your insurance cost for sure. Type of coverage, right? You take standard versus comprehensive. Comprehensive is more expensive, but it covers more. Value of the home, obviously, right? You wouldn't be surprised by that, right? Is your house worth $1 million? Is it worth $350,000? They would have to replace that if anything should happen to it. Additional coverage, right? There are three types of additional water damage protection. There's overland flooding, there's groundwater flooding, and there's the one you don't want ever. I mean, you don't want any of them, but sewer backup is the nastiest of them all. You basically have to throw everything out. Like you cannot, like sewer is so toxic. You don't want anything that came in contact with sewer, right? But you need all three if you want to be fully protected. Um, Deductible is the amount you pay when you make a claim, right? So a higher deductible is going to lower your insurance premium. That's important. It's kind of like inverse relationship, right? If a window has been smashed due to a break and enter, it will cost you $500 to replace it. Let's say a window costs about $400, $500, $600, something in that neighborhood. If you had a $200 deductible, the insurance company would give you, this is what it is, 500 minus 200, they would give you $300, right? They would only say, hey, well, you have a $200 deductible. That's why it's called deductible. They take that off what you're trying to get coverage for. If you have a $500 deductible, how much would you get back? Zero, right? Would it make sense to make a claim? Probably not. I wouldn't make a claim. I would even say don't make a claim for this one, because once you make a claim, your insurance goes up next year. So you're still going to pay for it in the long run. So watch out. Okay. Let's keep going. Page 50. This also affects your premium, guys. Discounts. Try to apply for as many discounts as you can. Your insurance company will ask you, right? If they know that you have a claim-free history, so you have owned or rented, and you didn't make a claim in the past, you will get a significant discount because they know, okay, you're not making claims. So chances are you won't be making claims. Smoke-free home, right? That is, right? If they will ask you, are there any smokers in the home, right? It will drive it up. Do you have an alarm system? Is it monitored? Because you could just have an alarm system built, you get probably 10% off. So my home insurance is like $1,400 a year. What's 10% of $1,400? $140 discount. That's not bad. If it's monitored, you get 15% off. So sometimes the discount pays for the service. You know what I mean? So you might say, hey, I do have it monitored. It costs me some, but I do get a discount from the insurance. So it's a win-win. I want to talk about. I'm seriously considering beefing up my security system. So to prevent burglary, what can you do to prevent it or to deter? I should say deter. You won't really prevent it necessarily, but you will deter. What can you do to make theft less attractive? Yeah. Yes. Stickers. You can even get them on Amazon. Like just random stickers of any alarm company, just put them on all doors and windows. And if you have the lawn sign, maybe have that by your flower beds, right? Just AAA alarms or whatever. Yeah. Anything else? Three companies. Beware of dogs. Yeah. So signs. So that's beware of dog. Yeah. Actually, dogs are probably the number one reason that somebody would not break into your house. If they sense that there is a dog, they usually stay away. So that's a, yeah, I talked to a former police officer. He said having your TV going or a dog is probably one of the number one deterrents for theft. Yeah. What else? Come on. You owned a house, what would you do? It's very popular these days. Cameras. Yes. You know that there's fake cameras, right? And that you can even fool the cops with it. My neighbor, which I'm gonna do now too, I thought they were real, but he just has the fake, they call decoys, right? Decoy cameras. So he puts them up, and so somebody broke into the other neighbor, and so the police officers wanted his footage, and he says, sorry, they're just decoys. Like, oh, okay. Right, so cameras, you can have decoys, right? Doorbell, doorbell cameras, right, to prevent somebody stealing your packages. They're getting cheaper and cheaper, doorbell cameras, right? $50, I think you can get a decent one. Yeah. Right. Wireless. Do you have the light bulb one? There's ones you can actually screw into your light bulbs outside. Yeah. And you have it's all on your phone. Yeah. It's not the doorbell that you have to subscribe. Mm-hmm. Or I think it's a week. So you have to subscribe. It's $60 every year. It's not much. It's not much. But the rest I only need a USB flash. It's way cheaper. Yeah, I like that. I'm gonna look into it. One more thing. Did you know that? Did you know that if you have an expensive, like this happened to my cousin, right? He was traveling. He had an expensive $2,000 camera. I'm like, who owns a $2,000 camera? Like I would never own, but he loves taking pictures. That's his thing. They stole it, and so now $2,000 gone, right? He went with his home insurance. Home insurance covered his camera. Fine, he had it. What did he have to pay? He had to pay the deductible. So let's say you have a $500 deductible, you get $1,500 back in that case. So yes, it covers mysterious disappearance. That's what they call it, mysterious disappearance. So, but his insurance will go up. Trust me. Okay, the building itself. The building itself is very important, right? What age? The age of the building. Is it a bungalow, two-story, side by side? What is it? Is the garage attached? No. Is the garage attached? What type of electrical wiring is in it? The older houses had aluminum wiring. Aluminum wiring is notorious for fires because it can't hold as much heat. And then there's the knob and tube. I don't know if you've ever heard of that. That's basically just wires running freely in your attic. It's just like a little knob, and they just twist it around it and just keeps going, and then it just goes to different rooms. That is they do not like that. They might actually just refuse to insure your house until you upgrade, which is very expensive. You might have to pay 20 grand to do all the wiring in the house, so be careful with that. Here's your home insurance table. Isn't that scary? But I can guarantee this is what you need to do. Same as before. I'm going to use one highlighter for this part. You must pick one from here. Must pick one, right? You must pick one from this orange area. You see the four areas up here? Metro Winnipeg, so that's Winnipeg. Then there's area 2, area 3, area 4. Students used to have to memorize that. How would you know area 4? Oh, it's 8 miles from a fire hall and 1,000 feet from a fire hydrant. It was a nightmare, but now we don't need to anymore, okay? I will tell you which area this house is in. So you narrow it down. It's kind of like all of it, right? And then you narrow it down into one of the four areas. And then you narrow it down even more. Is it standard or comprehensive, right? And then you match it with the value of the home. Got it? So this, watch it, this right here is overage, right? Same idea again. understand what happens when you want a $200 deductible? Right here, you add 10%. Don't write on your pink sheet, okay? Because when you write the exam, you're not going to have that pink sheet. So we're going to give you a brand new one. So if you rely on what's on the pink, it's going to bite you for the exam, okay? Just make sure your study sheet has everything. Taxes, what are taxes for insurance? PST only, that's 7%. So we got to multiply by 1.07. Okay, same as before. We're doing good time-wise. We're going to dig in right now and see what's the maximum coverage on this chart. 200,000. On insurance for tenant, it's 75, right? So just something to keep in mind that 200, if you notice that the house is more than 200, which is most houses these days, you're going to go over this, right? You're going to have to pay extra for every $1,000 you go over. So they need to update this chart, but I've asked them and they're still sticking with this one. Okay. It's fairly accurate, but not exactly. Okay. Let's keep going. Were we good there? 51, real quick. This is, I got this from the province actually. I just want to highlight 3. So I don't know if at the very top, look at the difference. There's standard on the left side, there's comprehensive on the right side. And it's either saying building or contents. I'm not going to focus too much on things, but NC stands for no charge, not covered, sorry. Which one has the least amount of NCs? See that, right? Comprehensive has the least amount of no coverage, right? So comprehensive covers more. Some of the interesting ones here, I just had to chuckle. Food freezer contents, I don't know. So if you ever have a power outage and you have like $1,000 worth of meat in the freezer, apparently either standard or comprehensive, they would cover it. I'm like, how in the world would you know how much was in there? I don't know. Lightning is covered. Mysterious disappearance, watch this. Which is the only one that covers it. It would be under comprehensive, right? Comprehensive. That's the only one that covers that one. And sewer backup, $5,000 worth of coverage. Standard doesn't do a thing. Under comprehensive, both the building and your stuff would be covered. Okay, so that's probably a good one. I'm gonna sewer backup, I'm gonna highlight that. That's all. Oh, theft from an unlocked car. Watch that. It's just right now here. Theft from unlocked car. It's covered under both standard and comprehensive. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I think yeah. Exactly. Like, is it like forgetting its location? Would that be a mysterious disappearance? And then later on remembering where it is, right? I don't know. Help themselves, yeah. I'm pretty sure they're pretty specific as to what they mean by that, but that would be up to us, I guess, to phone and call and see. Okay, go ahead. Okay, now it's math time. It's all math, but anyways, this is for owners. This insurance works for tenant and home insurance, right? So I gave you this one already. Have your pink charts ready? Pink charts. Phone's away for this one. Should always be away, but I don't have two eyes in the back of my head here. Brent owns a house, so that's important that this is owning in Winnipeg. Metro Winnipeg, Winnipeg is the same thing. You want 175,000 worth of coverage, comprehensive, with a $200 deductible. These are all keywords that mean something to us. What is the annual rate before and after tax? We're going to do both. Okay, so grab your chart and we're going to go insurance. Square bracket. Table rates. We're going to go grab one from that rate for now. Winnipeg 175 comprehensive. So Winnipeg comprehensive 175. There it is. I'm going to make sure it matches. I get 668. Okay, right there. I'm not going over, right? I'm not getting to the bottom of that page, so it's just +0. You don't have to do the +0, but maybe just for now, for this example, you put that in there. $200 deductible. Sorry, what did I do there? 1.10. Okay. Before and after tax. So I am going to have this there, and I'm just going to split up my answer later on. So that's 668 times 1.10 times 1.07. Then let's just do the 668 times 1.10 for now. That is 743. So this part is 734, sorry, 80. That's before tax. Times 1.07. $786. $24. This is really what we would want. Like, I don't know. I always want to know. Give me the whole thing after taxes because I don't have a choice. This is an annual premium. I always choose to go monthly, so they charge you a little bit of interest, but then it comes off my account every month. In fact, I have it set up in such a way that I never run out of insurance. It just like automatically the year is over. They send me a couple months before, they send me a new policy, and they're like, if you're happy with it, it'll just continue. If you want to make changes, you got to come in before it renews, because if you make changes along the way, they charge you a little bit because you're technically breaking contract. Okay. So this one, there's no overage. Should we make a note here? No overage. And I will make an arrow just going to the 0 maybe, right? That's why I put the 0 there. Didn't go over. And now, of course, we'll do one with. I think you could handle this at this point, but I'll do one more. Highlight first. Owns a house in Pine Falls. Pine Falls doesn't mean a thing. Is within 8 miles of a fire hydrant. Doesn't mean anything for us, but this does. Area 3. You want $225,000 worth of standard insurance with a $500 deductible. What's the annual payment before tax? So hey, we don't have to do times 110, and we don't have to do the 1.07 step, right? So I will do this times 1.10. That's not needed. Times 1.07. That's not required. Okay. So we're done with that. I will go overage. I will go 225 minus 200,000. This is the max, right? And that'll be 25,000. It's not too bad, right? You can do mental math there. Insurance, square bracket. Go grab one number, and we're going to grab another number because we know we're over. So grab your pink chart. Grab your pink chart, right? And Winnipeg, area 2, area 3. We want standard. And we know we're maxing out, so I'm going to try to have this centered. So we go all the way to the bottom here, 726, and we're going to grab 355, right? Because we're going over. 726 is going to cover us up to 200,000. The 355 per thousand is what we're going to have to add. Okay, so here we go. 726 plus 25,000. Don't forget this step. And I have it on my chart here. It's 355. Do you want, I don't know if you need this. No tax. No $200 deductible, right? That's why you don't need to worry about that. So basically, whatever's inside this square bracket, that is going to be it. That's what we're looking for here. So 726 plus, grab your calculators. It's basically 8875. Just going to add 726 to my answer. So it's 814.75. Boom. That's a $500 deductible before tax. Okay. Could Jill right now, could Jill do anything to reduce this even further? Not really, because she's already going for the $500 deductible. She's already picking standard. So Jill is basically trying to get away with the bare minimum, right? Like this is just have a standard coverage. There's nothing wrong with it, but please don't go without insurance. Okay, I heard it in the news maybe a year or two ago. There was something with the furnace that a fire started by the furnace. It burned the place down just before Christmas. They had no insurance. They couldn't afford it, right? That's what I'm like. Try to say no to other things, but make sure you have insurance because it takes a second, right? And a fire starts, and then next thing you know, you have to deal with that loss, right? So and if you have a mortgage on it, that's going to be painful because you got to pay that mortgage. You cannot default. If you do, you're going to have to declare bankruptcy, right? So make sure you cover your stuff. All right. Come with me to 53. No, actually 53 you did yesterday. That was all renting, right? So 54 to 56. So I'm gonna actually put that under by page 52. I'm just gonna go 54 to 56. We've got lots of time. We've got 20 minutes. I would say try at least, 3 or 4 questions. And if you need to then call it a day today, that's fine. Because you've worked hard.